Stand by to watch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right. Good morning on this Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning into the JP Peterson Show. Each and every morning, Monday through Friday, 10 to noon, we are here with the best 2 hours of Tampa Bay-centric sports, talk, entertainment, fun, all kinds of good stuff. We're always on Twitter live. We're on Facebook live at JP Peterson. We are also on YouTube where you can subscribe, and Apple and Spotify podcasts. My daughter's so impressed that I have a Spotify now that she can look me up on Spotify.
You're like cool dad now?
I'm the cool dad now. All her friends have Spotify, music, and she'll soon have hers up. But now she can just type me in. So now I'm cool. Finally, I'm cool. Nick Geddes joining me here from Outkick.com. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Good morning. Another great day here. Lots to get into.
Yes.
Rolling in today, and I saw all the coach buses. I believe Arkansas that was going to practice.
Arkansas and Penn State in the house for the Outback Bowl coming up this week. You'll be going to your first Outback Bowl as a reporter.
Yeah, very excited. Very excited for that after the experience I got the other night. So.
Oh, yeah, but the food's going to be a hell of a lot better.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. They bring around coconut shrimp and blooming onions in the press box. Then you have the steak dinner at halftime. Usually second quarter, if you're smart, you get up there in the line beforehand. I'm a veteran at this. It's going to be a great day. Hopefully the weather will be great. The matchup is interesting. It's more interesting than I thought. Penn State and Arkansas on the kind of a resurgence.
Yeah.
Or I guess they're not resurging if they've never been anywhere. So they're on the uptick. And then they've never been here to the Outback Bowl. So their fans are having a great time. Seen a bunch of them running around in Penn State. Always great to have a great program like that. James Franklin staying at Penn State.
10 years.
10 years.
$9.5 million.
Money. There you go. All right. Well, we got a hockey game tonight. We got a great lineup for you as well. Bobby the Chief Taylor is going to join us at 10:15. He will be starting in net tonight for your Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay, and he's not starting in net, but neither is Vasilevsky, neither is Brian Elliott. And because of COVID concerns, we're going to get into that. But Steven Stamkos said something yesterday. It was very, very interesting. Did not get a lot of play, but of course, we will pick it up for you and give it to you here in a second. It looks like Pointer's going to play tonight. How about
back
that?
Tonight, huh?
Yeah, I think he's going to play tonight. They haven't said definitively, but I have no reason to think otherwise. Why would he not? He's ready to go. He's been practicing. We talked to him yesterday. Seems in good spirits and cannot wait to see him back out on the ice.
I love his attitude, too. When he was asked about, what do you think about playing during this COVID time? He's like, I show up when I'm asked to do. I don't when I'm not.
Right.
I go with the flow.
You got to go with the flow.
It's a hockey player answer right there.
Yeah, you got to go with the flow. No doubt about it. Scott Reynolds will join us at 10:30 from Pewter Report. Great article on Pewter Report about what the Bucs do now without Chris Godwin. And really breaks down the X's and O's. I love the X's and O's of football. It's one of the best parts of the game, the strategy of it. And it kind of just goes to show you what I've said all along about Chris Godwin. He's the most versatile and complete receiver in the game. And in a very real way, the Bucs offense is predicated on his unique talents. And now they got to find a way to figure it out. So we'll talk with Scott Reynolds about that. TJ Rives, Bucs sideline guy, with us as well. We've already kind of said that we're going to have some fun at the expense of the Saints today. So if you're one of those Buc fans that hate the Saints and you watched that disaster of a football game last night, we'll have fun with that. And Leo Haggerty will join us as well. We'll talk some Bucs and Lightning and USF with him as well. All right, let's get started with tonight's game. And as of right now, we have a hockey game tonight. Montreal Canadiens are here. They have landed. They'll probably all be tested this morning, so we should know probably within the show if there's going to be any type of cancellation. At this point, I don't think there's going to be, unless there's a huge spike. Yeah, you just never know. I mean, unless there's a huge spike of positive. Just because the Canadians are in Florida, they'll probably immediately get COVID.
Oh, yeah.
It's just,
I'm sure Trudeau's already made a nice little phone call.
I'm sure,
Get our hockey team out of that state.
Get them out of that state right now. But they're all vaccinated. You can't spread the You can't spread the virus with the vaccine. We're going to play a montage a little bit later on in the show of all the stupid stuff that Fauci, Walensky, Biden, and so many people have said, Gates, about this vaccine that is turned out to be completely wrong. And I know some of you get tired of the COVID talk. I get it. But so much of what is going on in sports now is COVID related. I mean, almost every story we're talking about is COVID related. And there's one constant theme that I think everybody has to realize is that as we've gone through this for 2 years, so much that so many people have said about COVID has been wrong. And the facts have been out there from the very beginning, and they just go unreported or misreported. You know, so much about the vaccine, you can't get COVID. You don't have to wear a mask. You only need, there's so much that they don't know about these vaccines, and especially the long-term effects, which is why these mandates are so crazy. If they don't know that you needed a booster shot, and if they thought that you would not be able to contract COVID, I mean, these are the most basic things about this vaccine that they did not know, or they knew and lied about. How the hell can you trust any of it? And yet people are still making humongously important public policy decisions based on completely erroneous assumptions. And the sports is right here, front and center, making the same mistakes. Now, the good news is the CDC finally adjusted their guidelines, and it's no longer a 10-day mandatory isolation. It's now down to 5. And if you're vaccinated, you don't have to isolate, because the science is showing us that vaccinated players are not transmitting the virus. People are getting it from other ways because it's so contagious, but they're not transmitting the virus. So this should tell let me just ask you one question. If the NFL stopped testing, what would happen? If the NHL stopped testing, what would happen? I'll tell you what would happen. There'd be no cancellations. The games would go on. Nobody's getting sick. And if guys do have symptoms and are concerned, isolate them from the team if you have symptoms. But other than that, there's no reason for these players to be put on a COVID list. They're not getting sick. Everybody is vaccinated, and the vaccines are working from keeping people getting seriously ill. So this is exactly, there's so many experts out there right now. They're saying this is good. Omicron is good because it's so weak. It's the hospitals are not being overwhelmed like people are talking about. That's a completely erroneous. Once again, you said that yesterday. Your friend works in Lakeland Hospital, right? I've heard the same thing at TGH. So that's a complete lie as well. People are handling this. They're handling it because most people are vaccinated or they have natural immunity, and it's a very weak strain. This is a sign that it's coming to an end, and we should be celebrating it instead of saying you're in for a winter of darkness and death and the more mandates and more lockdowns. We should be going, okay, good. Vaccines have worked. Natural immunity has worked. Let's get on with our lives. And last night, from a football standpoint, it was just an awful game. Every person that paid for that ticket should get a refund. I mean, Ian Book had no business playing quarterback in the NFL last night. He wasn't prepared. He had no shot.
And that's the product that the NFL wanted to put out on Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football, we're going to have Ian Book out there. And in a game that a team has to have, by the way, to win. Yeah. That's what continues to get on my nerves.
Yes.
Is teams that are trying to get into the playoffs, and they have to put these half-ass rosters out there.
I mean, you're talking about in a $1 billion industry, and you're talking about how much work, and I hate to say this about the Saints, but there's so many teams that this has happened to. All how much work these players have put in, the coaches have put in, all of it have put in to win games and get to the next level. And you get stopped because a guy tests positive. To tests are completely unreliable as well, and is sitting there completely healthy, easily ready to play, vaccinated, can't transmit it being asymptomatic. It's a joke. For what? What are you accomplishing? It's just theater. I mean, if Roger Goodell came out and said, excuse me, tickle on my throat, that we're not going to test anymore. Everybody's vaccinated. We feel really good about where we are in terms of the safety of our players. Let's move on. What would happen? There would be a little bit of a backlash. The Corona Bros would come out and just yell, scream. But nothing is going to happen from a health standpoint. That this is what we've learned. Let's rely on the science. Let's rely on the data. Let's rely on the effectiveness of the vaccines and move on, for God's sakes. All right. In sports, take the lead. Some of you leaders out there, stop being complete freaking cowards and being afraid of what the backlash might be, and make decisions that are best for your team or your league and the people that consume your product. That would, I think, should go for everybody. Schools, colleges, everything. It's time to move on. If there's ever been a time, it is now. And sports hopefully will lead the way. All right, I want to play something from Steven Stamkos yesterday, who spoke with the media. And he was asked about if the protocols at the NHL, who is totally beholden to the Canadian government at this point, who is completely psycho and wacko about COVID, they're going to be beholden to the Canadian government and not, revamp their ancient protocols. Here's Stamkos.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine line, right? We do have the Canadian side of things, so it differs from the other leagues. But sure, it's definitely been a topic of conversation around the league, around dressing rooms. Certainly ours. Like I said, if guys are fully vaccinated, like I mentioned the other day, the high majority of our team has been boosted as well. We're seeing some cases here where guys aren't feeling that bad. And the question is, and I saw someone mention it in the NFL the other day, one of the medical directors, I think, are the asymptomatic, people spreading the virus? And that's kind of the question that needs to be asked.
They never have.
Or there's very, low chance, then yeah, I do think we need to, maybe look into the testing protocol. But, I certainly don't have those answers. And, we're in a time right now where we have a lot of cases around the league, and guys are just trying to do the right thing to protect themselves and their families. So there's a lot of different aspects that go into the protocols. And as players, there's certainly talk, but we obviously need to do everything in our power to continue to play games here.
So I think you're hearing Stamkos there kind of trying to be diplomatic about it, but I think you can also hear him say that the players are talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. They're boosted. I mean, you can hear the frustration. They're vaccinated and they're boosted and they're not getting sick. What are we doing? Here's play number 2. He was asked about how hard it is to prepare for games when you have no idea who's going to be playing.
Yeah, we just like the Vegas game. I mean, we have to prepare like we're going to play. Obviously, a lot of things can change, but that's what we've done the past couple of days. We had a skate to just get back at it yesterday and in a more structured practice today. So for the guys that are out there on the ice, we've been told to prepare to play. So obviously unfortunate, what's going on around the league with a lot of teams having to deal with COVID issues right now, including ourselves. But I don't think a lot is going to change moving forward here for the next couple of weeks. So teams are going to have to adjust on the fly, and we have to do the same.
If the NHL does not at least take their quarantine time down to 5 days, it's a joke. Now you're just completely beholden to the crazies in Canada, and you're going to ruin your season. You're going to absolutely ruin your season. We'll get to a little bit more Stamkos later on. I want to hear one from Derek Lalonde, who will be coaching tonight if Cooper does not test back in, and at this point I don't think he will. Challenges of playing with depleted roster.
I think it's just the norm. Our team didn't react at all. They went about their business today, had a little talk with their leadership group today, just reminding them, don't let things get loose. Sometimes the unknown, obviously we're out a couple coaches. We don't have NHL goalies for practice the last 2 days. It's easy to subconsciously get a little bit loose, and they did a really good job with practice today. So maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, it would feel like a challenge. And of course, it's going to be challenging with the type of players we have out. But really, it was just about our business. No one flinched. Literally had to pull Anthony Cirelli out of the room just as our morning meeting was starting. And the guys didn't even flinch, reacted well to the meeting, translated well to practice, and went about their business. So not trying to downplay it, but I just think it's a reality of today's world and today's NHL. And for the most part, we've always handled it well. And I thought we did a good job handling it well today.
I love the attitude of this team and the leadership of this team. They just do not take anything for granted. As a two-time champion, they are as detail-oriented as they have ever been. And it's all right there in the proof of the record. The best record in the league, despite absolutely catastrophic injuries. This organization is just as good as it gets on every level.
Yeah, they're as well equipped as anybody, maybe in all of sports right now, to deal with this at all.
Next level on so many ways that they do things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, quick break. When we come back, tonight's starting goalie, Bobby the Chief Tanner, will join us. I put that on Twitter. How many people do you think actually believed it? We'll have some fun. The Chief coming up next as we figure out who the hell's going to play tonight. Stay with us.
Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
JP, Santa, and young Saint Nick. Get us right over here. My partner for the Gold and Diamond Source. You hear that? Christmas music. It's Christmas time. You just popped a question to your lady from the Gold and Diamond Source diamond that you got.
Yes, I did. The Gold and Diamond Source, the best place to go get your diamond for an engagement. They helped me out so much. They were so courteous to me for somebody who's so nervous. And it's Christmas time, like you said. If you're thinking about popping the question, you need to go to Gold and Diamond Source.
It's the Jewelry Supercenter, fully stocked, fully staffed, and yes, just a short drive from downtown Tampa or wherever you're coming from, right there on Ulmerton Road. Avoid the madness at the malls. And whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that 10-carat custom design, they have it all. 9 jewelers in-house ready to make your dreams come true. Even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection at the Gold and Diamond Source and make your lady wonderfully happy, like Nick did. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion wow the crowds in another star-studded field
Chief,
is
you got me?
expected again this year.
Chief,
Sam
can you
Burns
hear
took
me?
the title and will defend again
Chief,
at
can
the
you hear me?
Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of
I don't know if
Valspar
you can.
Live, our free Saturday
Chief, can
concert
you hear me?
featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich,
Chief,
and
you
other
got me?
amenities, including Chameleon Cove, the
Oh, he
Hooters
can hear me.
Owl's
All right,
Nest, the
good. All
Publix
right, we'll
Chill
be back
Lounge,
here in like
and
30
other
seconds.
hospitality venues. Go to Valspar
Got your pads ready? Ready to play tonight?
Tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now, so go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service, will close anywhere, the lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back. JP Peterson Show brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. All right, let's welcome in Bobby the Chief Taylor, who I believe will be suiting up tonight and starting for the Lightning in goal. You thought your career was over, Chief. You got a contract. You ready to go tonight?
Yeah, I did too.
You get to wear a mask and everything tonight. So it's going to be easy for you. That's all you got to do. Clearly. What?
Yeah, that would be a different thing to wear a mask.
I don't know how you kept yourself so handsome, my friend, without a mask. But this is an unprecedented situation, obviously, with both goaltenders on the COVID list, and I don't know if they're coming off. So I guess Maxime Lagaze will get the start tonight. His last time he played in the NHL got a shutout against Buffalo. So that would be my guess. What's your guess?
It's Legacy. That's how they
Legacy.
say it.
Okay. I was trying to be French there, Chief. I was trying to go Lagasse.
I know. Yeah, I played 2 years in Quebec, so I know how to swear really well in French.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
I know. Boji, Chris Collins. Anyway.
I think you just called me an asshole. That's okay.
I think that young kid's going to have a chance to start. I have that. LFL.
Okay.
He might go tonight. Because I know that he stayed longer at camp. Remember he came to the rookie camp and then he came to the regular camp and they had a longer look at him and he might just get the start. But Legacy has the more experience, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I know that they've got high hopes for this Alafelt, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes.
Interesting. And if they do, I mean, how do you handle this as Derek Lalonde will be coaching tonight? I'm guessing Cooper won't be back for tonight. Everything is an hour-to-hour situation at this. But, I mean, do you change the way you play to protect your goalie, or you just go out there and do what you do?
You just go and do what you do, because you know what? These guys they brought up, they've all played in the same similar system. And, they got guys. Montreal's got a ton of guys out.
Yeah, I know.
Especially their more known guys. So we're almost going to see an American League game.
I know. With
the players they have, But I just think that you've just got to play the way you've played all along. And, the Syracuse plays the same system that the Lightning do. Claude Giroux has really done a good job down there preparing guys. The biggest difference is that, I don't think you want to get too fancy. To keep the game simple, keep more north and south and east west. Yeah, and they'll be fine.
And it looks like Pointer will be back tonight. We talked to him yesterday. He seems in good spirits and ready to play. How do you think that affects the lineup tonight and where he fits in? Chief, do you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, there he goes.
How do you think it affects the lineup tonight if Pointer plays?
You know what? I don't know how many minutes he'll garner.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't see him upwards of the 20 minutes that he usually gets. You know, but you know, it's really a hard thing to measure, JP, mainly because, you know, Montreal's got a really young lineup as well, an inexperienced lineup. So, you know, I would expect Pointer would play, you know, 15, 16 minutes, you know, and depending how the game goes. But he'll get a lot of power play time, I believe, if we get a lot of power plays. And so I think that would be a big factor in how much time he gets to play. But it'll be nice to see him back there because, boy, we'll finally get our really good entries in the offensive zone now with our power play.
Yeah, that's been a really one of the things that we've struggled with. And I tell you what, when you see, I was listening to Stamkos yesterday talk about just having to be just, you know, very, very loose and malleable, so to speak. There's a big word for you. It just, you don't know who's going to play or where you're going to play, and you just got to go there and just, you know, take what they give you and just go play and play hard. I mean, I think that's the attitude that this Lightning team has to have, right?
Right. And I'm still looking up my thesaurus here. What the hell that word means?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Means you can mold it to anything you want. It's very malleable. Yes. So like 200 on my SAT. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to use that all day today.
There you go. There you go. They'll think it's a French word.
No, you know what? That it's going to be tonight for sure. Possibly the next 3 games. But I would just, you know, you have to do what you've been taught to do. Because like I said, you know, they play the same way down there. The only thing is that you have to make it a little bit faster up here. You have to make your decisions faster. And some of the guys that have been called up, you know what I mean? The D, them guys that have to go in and play defense, so you're going to have to keep it simple. And, you know, and those other players will be spotted. I would think that they might keep a couple of lines together. I mean, you can't keep as I call it, the Golden Age line together because Belmar's the one that's out center. So you're going to probably see a veteran or two with each younger guy that hasn't been up here yet.
I like that.
Most likely. I wouldn't think you'd put 3 young guys together at the time because, you know, like Radish and Kachuk and Colton, you know, they had the benefit of being on the taxi squad last year and going through playing in the bubble and practicing.
That's
so
a good point.
They were used to it, but some of these kids haven't played up here for a while. So I would think that you'd see just a smattering of the younger guys throughout with veterans alongside them.
Yeah. Brian Burns has on the website for Monday's practice, the line rushes Palat, Stamkos, and Radish on the top line. Killorn, Braden Point, Matthew Joseph back together again. Maroon, Ross Colton, and Corey Perry. And then the fourth line, Kachuk, Riley Nash, and Fortier, who played so well last week. I like that. That's interesting. That's very interesting pairings. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hardly, you know, going to guess some of the younger players that they called up, the forwards, that is, anyway.
Yeah.
More are probably just the taxi squatters.
Yeah.
So, you know, you haven't got total guys playing their first game. Yeah. Fortier, I thought, played really well. You know, for a little guy, he likes to play a physical game.
He does.
That's, I think, what surprises a bunch of players.
Yeah, he mixes it. That shot, that's an impressive shot as well.
Yes,
that he
exactly.
Yeah.
They have a great knack, the Lightning do, of catching those guys that are a little bit undersized that have been pretty good scorers in their junior, which is a big difference. Don't get me wrong. But, and they work with them. And, you know, you got one of the best skating coaches at Bob Underhall.
Yeah.
She just does a marvelous job. Look at Point. Point was a pretty good skater when he first came in, but look at him now. He's one of the premier skaters in the league.
Yeah, we were talking about this. The Lightning just do everything so well on so many levels. It's next level, and that's another thing that they've done. It, you know, the guys when they get here, they develop, and they take the best of what they have, and then they really develop the things that they might be deficient in, like skating. And you've seen that with Braden Point. Defense tonight, we might see Darren Radish make his debut with Cal Foote, McDonough and Bogosian and Hedman and Ruda. You know, and you say, like, going up against this inexperienced Montreal team, this is a pretty good team that Lightning can throw out there tonight with Braden Point coming back.
Exactly. I think that you're not going to have the outstanding effectiveness of a Kucherov and point duo, but still, I just think that one of the things that has made this team such a real strong team too is when they do bring these guys up, every single one of them, even the veterans that have come in here like Perry and Belmar, they've said that you're welcomed in so quickly.
Yeah.
That you can blend in as fast. You don't have to be tentative about anything. You can speak your mind. You can do whatever you need that benefits the team, and this team accepts it. And that's one of the real good things about this team, that they bring guys in and they just seem to just fit in quite well. Like we've talked at the early part of the year, JP, you and I, about losing the Gord line with Coleman and Goodrow, and we've kind of had a combination of that line with the Golden Age Club and the kid line.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been fun to watch, and with all these injuries and all the other guys having to step up, seeing new faces. But I'd like to see them get back to the old faces, get everybody back for the playoffs, which of course it looks like we're going to do. So excited to see that happen in the next month or so. All right, Chief, are you working tonight? Bally's got the game. I'm seeing here that's being streamed on ESPN Plus.
Yeah. I got the radio, the pre-game and between periods and post on radio. So I think I might be doing the color on radio Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because Phil has a further commitment, so I might be doing that on radios.
Back with Mitch. Oh, that's trouble, you two. All right, Chief. Appreciate your time as always, and we will see you at the rink tonight if we have a game. I think we will. Sounds good.
Super.
Thanks, partner.
You got it.
All right, Bobby the Chief Taylor right there. All right, quick break. When we come back, the Pewter Report's Scott Reynolds will join us, and we'll delve into how the Bucs move forward without Chris Godwin and all the injuries. Jack Barrett with the game with the Jets this week. Stay with us.
The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris
madness at the malls. And whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that 10-carat custom design, they have it all. 9 jewelers in-house ready to make your dreams come true. Even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection of the gold and diamond source and make your lady wonderfully happy, like Nick did. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. If you have any issues with your construction company, commercial or residential, he will take care of it for you. Let him fight for you at PalermoPA.com. All right. Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report joins us now. What's up, Scotty? How are you? Scott, can you hear me? He cannot hear me. Scott, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Having audio issues. Can you hear me now? Scott Reynolds, can you hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. Yep. Sorry, we are having some major technological problems here today, but now we got you. What's up, partner? How are you?
Gotcha. Good. How are you doing?
We are well, very healthy, and ready for this week. Like some Buccaneers, boy. Scotty, we're going to look back at that Saints game and maybe call it Bounty Gate 2. It just really took a toll on this Buccaneers team on so many levels, and they've got to make some major changes now with Chris Godwin out. And you guys have an article up, a great X and O's breakdown of how valuable Godwin is to this team and what he means to it. The whole offense is basically predicated on his unique abilities. Talk a little bit about that and how the Buccaneers adjust without him.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just from a personnel standpoint, you've got Tyler Johnson playing the slot, which is really the best spot for him because he's not that effective outside as a receiver. And I just think that they're going to have to create more 12 personnel looks, right? They're going to have to go to more double tight end sets to really help out from the blocking aspect, because unfortunately they want Tyler Johnson. He's got a bigger body,
right,
to be a blocker. But you saw like on that wide receiver screen to Antonio Brown that picked up the first down, but he only got a yard.
He got run over.
He got run over by his own guy. He got blown up on the block, that being Tyler Johnson. So I think Johnson is really the guy that has to step up. But just schematically, you might have to use more 12 personnel. And we saw a little bit more usage of Josh Wells, even 13 personnel, which 12 personnel is 2 tight ends. 13 personnel is essentially 3 tight ends. And you can use that with either Gronkowski and Howard, or you can use with any of the combination of the 2 tight ends plus Josh Wells coming in as a bigger blocker. The problem is when Wells is in the game, it's going to be a run, right? So there's a little bit of a tip-off there, especially when Ronald Jones is in the game.
Yep.
Because he's awful in pass protection and not a good pass receiver out of the field. But that can have its advantages too if you use play action off of that look. And I think that's something that I'm hoping, JP, that the Bucs are saving play action for the postseason, because Sunday would have been a perfect time to do that, because the Panthers were so keyed up on the run, especially after Keyshawn Vaughn ripped off the big run.
Yeah.
They had about 100 yards at halftime. But I'm hoping and praying that they go back to play action and use that as a postseason wrinkle.
Yes,
they should be using it all along.
No, I totally agree. And it's been kind of weird. Last year we went through that situation where they were, they were so effective in play action, but they were running it about 20% of the time. And then they switched and went on the run. Right. And maybe that's, it's made it something, Brady's been through this so often, and we don't tend to, obviously, because we haven't been to the playoffs as much as he has, there's an evolution to the season, right? And the teams that can save a wrinkle, so to speak, for late in the season, I think do much better. And Brady's probably been able to walk through Arians and the rest of the team in terms of, what we can do. And it's a fine line because, you got to win every game, obviously, heading into the playoffs. But, they were able to get by with it last week and might be able to get by with it this week. So it's an interesting concept. But,
And you know what, JP, the thing is, Byron Leftwich is not a creative play caller in that you're not going to see flea flickers. You're not going to see halfback passes. You're not going to see throwback screens where the play rolls one way, then they throw back to the other.
Right.
The Bucs don't try to trick you with trick plays. I mean, we saw an end around. We actually saw two.
Yeah, how about that?
The two end arounds. From
jet
Cyril
sweep.
Grayson, and it picked up 14 yards. It was a great play. But I think that maybe the quote-unquote trick play that the Bucs have up their sleeve is more use of play action. And I think what we're going to see is with Leonard Fournette possibly not being back by the first round of the playoffs, I think the Bucs want to put a lot of 12 and 13 personnel out there on tape for that first round opponent, whoever it's going to be, by running this against Carolina, by running it against the Jets, by running it against the Panthers again in week 18. And what I mean by running it is 12 and 13 personnel, running the ball a lot with Ronald Jones and Keyshawn Vaughn. And then in the first round of the playoffs, show those looks, but use action.
Right.
And
take the
put that out there in the playoffs. Yeah. I'm hoping that's what happens.
And it's interesting. Scott Reynolds, Pewter Report, joining us here. What Arian said yesterday about he believes Keyshawn Vaughn is a lead back, and you just mentioned how Rojo is not the greatest pass protector. Given that run that we saw from Keyshawn, and I think he's extremely talented. He's got to hold on to the damn ball. He didn't do that well last year, but in the second year, guys get better at that. Do you think there's a chance that Vaughn may even overtake? If Fournette can't come back, may even overtake Rojo in terms of snaps, because it does give the Bucs more versatility in the plays that they can run, and they're not tipping their hand as much.
Yeah, because he's better in pass protection.
Right.
So I buy that argument for sure. The thing where he's got to really improve is catching the ball. He had one target, and he dropped it. It was right off his hands. So this is a receiver. I shouldn't have received. This is a running back with now 13 targets. Okay, 13 targets. In his 2 years in the passing game, he's had 6 drops and he's had 5 catches out of those 13 targets. So as much as we want to get on Rojo on third down, Rojo's problem is pass protection. He cannot identify who has to block, and once he identifies him, he cannot get the job done. So it's like you're playing with 11 out there. I should say you're playing with 10 rather than 11 out there on third downs with Ronald Jones. So I get the lack of trust. And there's a couple of instances we might put on Twitter for our audience at Pewter Report that just demonstrates that. This is Ronald Jones, year 4, JP, year 4, still not being able to identify who to pick up and then just simply whipping on blocks and pass protection. So I get them using Keyshawn Vaughn. The thing is listen, I want Keyshawn to work out. I do. I think he's more talented than Peyton Barber. But I also remember how Bruce Arians was just giddy over, Peyton Barber as a running back when he first got here. Right? I mean, he thought Peyton Barber was he thought he was a lead back. So it's like, I've got to take what Arians has said about Peyton Barber, who is, really is your number 3 back. And I'm not saying a third down back. I'm saying on an NFL depth chart, he's maybe the guy you want at number 3. I mean, Ernest Graham was better than Peyton Barber, but Ernest Graham wasn't a lead back. So I want to see more from Keyshawn Vaughn. The one thing I'll say about Keyshawn Vaughn is we can get excited about that 55-yard touchdown run, and it was a great run, especially at the end where he didn't just run out of bounds. He actually waited for the block, kind of faked inside, then hit the sidelines again for the score. He read the block by Cyril Grayson perfectly on that play. Yeah. But remember how we all felt about the Carolina game last year, right? We saw a 98-yard touchdown run from Ronald Jones. We saw 192 yards on the ground that day from Ronald Jones. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was back in last December, actually late November, I think. And fast forward to this year, right? I mean, the Monday after that game, we're thinking, wow, Ronald Jones is going to hit 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
This guy is just arrows pointing up for this guy. And if you were to tell me the Monday after that 192-yard day from Ronald Jones that he would not even be a starter for any games in which Leonard Fournette was healthy the next year, I would have said you're crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Leonard Fournette was an afterthought at that point in time. So my whole thing is recency bias can be a dangerous thing. We might sit there and say, hey, Keyshawn Vaughn might be the second coming, and he might be. But just go back to Ronald Jones's performance last year. And if you were to tell me that he would have under 400 yards rushing this season, and be sitting behind Leonard Fournette all year long, I would have said you're crazy at that point in time last year. So let's see more from Keyshawn Vaughn before we anoint him a lead back.
Yeah, it's so interesting. You know, it's something you got to kind of read between the lines with Bruce. A lot of times he's trying to, I think, pick guys up and try to give them some confidence. Yeah. And
you're exactly right. This is coach speak in a very good way. He's trying to pump his guy with confidence, which is what he should do. But like you said, you got to take it with a grain of salt.
No question. I thought the defense was phenomenal the other day. I mean, just from an energy level, especially the secondary. Jordan Whitehead, have a game. I mean, that's as good a game I've seen a safety play. And when Winfield gets back, boy, is that a safety tandem that, when both are healthy, and we haven't had that a lot. When those two guys are healthy, and look at the playmaker that Mike Edwards has become as well. I mean, Carlton Davis, SMB, boy, that was probably one of his best games. Just really, really aggressive. I just love the way the energy that defense played with the other day. It reminded me a lot of what we saw at the end of last year.
You're exactly right. And having those guys healthy in the secondary allows Todd Bowles to be more creative with this front seven and getting after the quarterback. And the two things I liked about the pass rush, JP, and not just that the sack total was 7, right? But on 3 of those sacks came on third downs, and then a 4th came on 4th down.
Yeah.
So it's all sacks are not created equal, right?
Yeah.
Some sacks count more. Just like with pressures. Pressures are great, but it's like if you pressure a quarterback and he still throws for a first down, that pressure is not that great. However, if you pressure a quarterback and he ends up throwing an interception because of it, like that's a much worthy pressure than just the previous one I mentioned. And same thing with sacks. Sacks on first downs are great if it results in a punt 3 plays later. But sacks on third down count more because they do bring on the punt squad, right? And so I thought that the Bucs got meaningful sacks on those downs. The other thing that was impressive about the sacks is that it wasn't just one guy coming free, beating his guy, and bringing the quarterback down. We saw sacks that were coming because of a group effort. We saw the pocket collapse and close in on the quarterback, where the guy that got the sack, if he didn't get it, there were 2 other guys literally a step away from getting it, right? And that reminded me so much of the days when you had Simeon Rice and Warren Sapp, and Greg Byers back in those glory days, where they just would collapse the pocket, and Rice would beat those guys for the sacks because he was just quicker, right? But if he didn't get it, Sapp was going to clean him up, or so was Spires, right? Even back in the day, you had guys like Reagan Upshaw and Warren Sapp, or Chidi Hanatu, or Brad Culpepper. They did such a good job of working together like a fist closing, not just individual fingers, but a fist. And so I think that's what I liked about the rush that I saw. And that's why you have guys like Will Golston getting 2.5 sacks, and Vita Vea getting a sack, and Cam Gill almost had a sack. Anthony Nelson had a sack, because they're working as a unit. And really, that's a game where, if you go back and look at the tape, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka could have easily had 3 sacks. It's just that he was the setup man for all of those. If you equate it to hockey, the assist guy is just as important as the goal scorer.
Absolutely.
Right?
Making the point.
Joe Tryon-Shoyinka was like Vic Edmond. He was the assist guy.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, man. I love talking football football with you. I know a lot of people get glazed over when we talk X's and O's, but I've such a fascinating part of the game. That's why these teams that are in the playoffs. I mean, look at these teams. They're mostly experienced coaches, great coaching staffs, experienced quarterbacks, good quarterbacks. This is what it takes to win in December. What is Brady? 69-17 in December. 26 touchdowns, 0 picks in the red zone. Only quarterback to have no picks the last 2 years in the red zone. The Bucs are 21-0 when leading or tied at halftime. The only team in the NFL over the past couple of years. It's because Brady he knows how to manage games. 18 completions, 18 for 30. It's all that was the game that we needed to play offensively, and that's how you win right now. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And that's why they couldn't win with Jameis Winston, because Jameis Winston's games back in 2019 were all the same. It was 370 yards, and it was 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. And it's like, that's what Jameis, I don't want to say aspired to be, but I mean, that was the product, right? Whereas Tom Brady can go out and throw 4 touchdowns and 400 yards one game, and 200 yards and 1 touchdown the next, and they're both spectacular games.
Yeah,
because Brady can win a lot of ways, and I think part of that is working with Belichick, where Belichick would sit there and say, some games, we're going to run the ball 40 times.
Yeah,
and then the next game we might run it 14, whatever the game plan calls for.
Exactly.
And the other thing is Brady had to deal with the elements, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might be 30 degrees and not much wind and overcast skies for the first round of the playoffs. The second round of the playoffs, it might be an absolute snowstorm or freezing rain,
or a dome.
And so he exactly. He had to work with the elements up there in New England, where each game was different. Yeah. And I think down here in Florida, with a quarterback like Winston, it's either playing in a dome, right? You're either playing in Atlanta, you're playing in New Orleans, or you're playing down here in Florida, where it's usually pretty sunny and mild. So I love Brady's adaptability, because in the playoffs, it's just a different animal. And I think too, you made such a great point about the football season being an evolution.
Yeah.
And it's a process where you have to build to something. Look no further than the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
Great start to the season, but young, inexperienced coaching staff of coaches that have not been there and done that, right? That have not been on a playoff run, that don't know how to have success in the postseason. They're trying to figure it out, but look at their record since that hot start, right?
Yeah.
It's just different. And it's better when you've got an experienced coaching staff like the Bucs do, with an experienced quarterback like Brady at the helm.
100%, no doubt about it. And lastly, the NFL, I think, has probably done the best job of any of the leagues of adapting to the new science and new things that are coming out. They've already taken their isolation time from 10 days to 5 days, as the CDC just changed their recommendations, and now they're not going to test players that are asymptomatic. So I think this will hopefully be the last week where we have tons and tons of tests. I'm waiting for one league to just finally say, look, all of our players are vaccinated. They're not going to get sick. We're not going to test anymore. We're just going to play. It's what we need to do. It's what we need to do in life and what we need to do in the NFL. What do you think?
I agree. I mean, I'm certainly no scientist or doctor. I'll preface it by saying that I've done an awful lot of research and reading from a wide variety of sources. And, there weren't any vaccines in 1918 back in the Spanish flu days. Vaccines did not end the Spanish flu, right? They didn't have them. Natural herd immunity is what ended it. And, the thing is viruses don't want to kill the host, because that is what allows the virus to live. If the host dies, the virus dies. But the problem is, as viruses mutate, they get weaker naturally. It's a natural phenomenon. It's the natural life cycle of a virus. Is it gets weaker and then it gets more contagious, because the natural law of order of things is for viruses to eventually kind of peter out. They have to become more spread, so more people get it, but it's much weaker. And I think I hope that's where we are with Omicron is we're at this stage where it's really resembling more of a mild cold a mild flu, less hospitalizations, less deaths, certainly than Delta so far. And I agree. I've never subscribed to the idea of I'm feeling okay. Should I go get tested? I can't grasp that.
Imagine having a virus so weak that you have to have a test to find out if you're sick, and you have to, and all the, and like what we saw last night. I mean, it's a joke. That game was a freaking joke. I mean, Ian Book had no business playing quarterback in the NFL last night.
Correct.
And
it's not fair. It's not fair to Ian Book in his career. It's not fair to the people watching that, trying to get playoffs.
No,
to have to deal with this.
And Cian and Hiller is healthy as horses. I mean, they're not sick, but they're on this stupid COVID list, and that's a travesty.
It is. Bruce Arians has been as serious as anybody about COVID. Right? I mean, he is a 3-time cancer survivor. He's elderly. I mean, he's in the most vulnerable population, right? So he has been the most adamant about vaccines, about viral health. At the same time, he's also gone on record this year and said, I don't think we should be testing as often as we are, because all the tests are going to do is say, you've got COVID, you can't play. But he's not in favor of people that, and he even said it, I think he used the term sniffles. Like, if you have the sniffles, you should be able to play. JP, we haven't been in the locker room for a couple of years now, but I spent my first 24 years out of my 26 in the Bucs locker room. So have you. How many players have you seen at the end of the game, especially later in the year when maybe it's colder or whatever, changing the temperatures, that played sick, that have played with the flu, played with strep, played with whatever. You only had 16 games to play.
Yep.
Out of the entire year, you had 16 Sundays to show up. And what are you going to let, I've got a fever, so I'm not going to play? No, I mean, you played. That's what you did back then. It wasn't a big deal,
Yeah, and these, the situation now is much different than it was last year in March of 2020. And you have to adapt with what the science is telling you. And at least looks like the NFL is going to do that. The rest of the league just lost. I mean, NHL holding the Canada craziness. And unless Bettman has a spine and figures that out, they're not going to finish the season, which is a shame.
I agree.
Yeah. So, at least the NFL's getting it right. All right, partner, tell everybody what's going on Pewter Report. We got tons of great content up there right now.
Yeah, we did. Listen, the Bucs opponents for 2022 have been released. We have that story up on pewterreport.com. So if you want to see who they're going to play next year, which trust me, a lot of great quarterbacks.
Yeah, and good trips
we got
too.
That story up. Yeah, exactly. We got the X's and O's story about how Bruce Arians has got to change this offense without Chris Godwin. That story's up on pewterreport.com. Tons of content this week leading up to the Jets game. Find it all on pewterreport.com. Follow us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Pewter Report. And then also on our YouTube page. Check us out at Pewter Report TV. That's Pewter Report TV. Follow our page. You can subscribe to that. And we have podcasts Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and also on Sundays about the Buccaneers leading up to the games, and also on Sundays, game days, pregame, in-game, and post-game podcasts. So make sure you're subscribing to Pewter Report TV on YouTube.
Great stuff. Thank you, Scotty. Appreciate it. Happy New Year to you, and we'll chat next week.
Happy New Year to you.
Thanks, partner. Appreciate
Looking forward to it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, we'll take a quick break here. We'll come back on the other side, and we will hear a little bit more from Steven Stamkos on should the NHL put together an Olympic tournament to take the place of the Olympics, which they're not going to. Interesting response when we come back. Stay with us.
Attention home buyers or refinance candidates. It is a great time to purchase or refinance. Home values are going through the roof right now. You've got so much equity, time to tap into that equity, get the cash, and make sure you're making the right financial decisions in your life. Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services in Tampa can help you out on all those fronts. I've known Fitz for over 30 years. He's done 3 of my mortgages. In fact, Scott has done over 3,000 loans in the Tampa Bay area many of our coaches, athletes, from Bucks to Bulls. And he can save you big money. AMS is a wholesale broker. They will shop your loan to dozens of banks and let them compete for your business. Quick story, one listener had a done deal with a big national mortgage company, was promising a 2.75 interest rate. Well, when it came time to lock in, it was 3.25. Emailed Scott, got him the actual 2.75, saved him over $3,000 in first-year payments and $2,200 in lender's fees. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
JP, Santa, and young St. Nick, get us right over here. My partner for the Gold and Diamond Source. You hear that? Christmas music. It's Christmas time. You just popped a question to your lady from the Gold and Diamond Source diamond that you got.
Yes, I did. The Gold and Diamond Source, the best place to go get your diamond for an engagement. They helped me out so much. They were so courteous to me for somebody who's so nervous. And it's Christmas time, like you said. If you're thinking about popping the question, you need to go to Gold and Diamond Source.
It's the Jewelry Supercenter, fully stocked, fully staffed, and yes, just a short drive from downtown Tampa or wherever you're coming from, right there on Ulmerton Road. Avoid the madness at the malls. And whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that 10-carat custom design, they have it all. 9 jewelers in-house ready to make your dreams come true. Even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection at the Gold and Diamond Source and make your lady wonderfully happy like Nick did. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
JP here for Italiano Insurance. You know, we're all just trying to make ends meet financially, and it's not just what you make, but it's what you keep. Think about how much money you spend on insurance every year. Italiano Insurance can save you literally thousands of dollars. Here's how it works. Give them a call at 813-877-7799. Tell them what you're spending on all your insurance, your homeowner's insurance, your auto insurance, life insurance, all your insurance needs, and they will shop dozens and dozens of companies to get you the best deal. I was at a Rays game one time, and a couple told me, hey, I called Italiano. They saved me $1,400 on my insurance, my home insurance, $1,600 on my auto insurance. A business customer saved $26,000 on their business insurance. Large and small, they do it all, folks. 813-877-7799. An actual human being will answer the phone and give you great customer service. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in, but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. We'll hear Stammer talk about the Olympics here in just a second. I want to remind you, the JP Peterson Show presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo, fighting for your rights and protecting your home in sinkhole, hurricane, roof damage, defective stucco, and construction defects, and to fight the builders as well as the insurance companies. Making sure you get all you deserve in your claim. Let Chris Palermo fight those big insurance companies for you, handling both residential and commercial cases. Call Chris at 813-221-5636 or PalermoPA.com for a free consultation. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com for a free consultation. If you're pissed off at your builder and you think they did some things wrong because they're taking shortcuts right now with supply chain problems, keep an eye on it. If you're building a home or building an office, and Christopher can be your representative, let him do it. He's seen it all. He knows what to look for. So contact him and get the free consultation to see if you have a case. All right. We will get into a little bit more on the Bucs as TJ Reeves will join us at 11:15. As of right now, the Lightning game's still on tonight with Montreal. Very sure that it's, unless we're going to hear some more positive tests. Of course, anything can happen right now in the NHL because their protocols are so antiquated. But right now, it looks like the game is on tonight, and Brian Burns reporting that Annafelt was the last one off the ice, so he will probably be in goal.
Yeah, most likely. So 20 years old without a single NHL game experience, probably going to get the start tonight for the Lightning.
Interesting
Times.
Legacy has played in the NHL. In fact, his last start was a shutout at Buffalo, but it looks like they want to see the kid play tonight.
I mean, he was a third-round pick 2 years ago, so goalies don't usually get taken high. You know, not a lot of goalies go high. That's actually pretty high, so they probably want to get a look at him. It's Montreal, which has been already playing like an AHL team. And they're going to look like one tonight anyway.
Yeah. So, interesting time to get a look at him. Not that we're ever going to need him.
Yeah, I don't think so.
The 88 in his prime. Boy, 88's got to be pissed off. He's probably sitting there in his house, healthy as a horse.
What do you think he does in his free time when he's not having to play hockey?
He climbs palm trees on Bay Shore.
Just like normal people do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. How do you climb a freaking palm tree? You know, I've seen video of him do this on Instagram. Like he does it like he's climbing a rope. You know how strong your legs got to be, your core to do that?
I mean, I can see how strong he is in his legs. I can see that.
He's
clearly.
A freak. He's like he is to goaltending what Michael Phelps was to swimming. You know, have you ever seen Michael Phelps? He's 6'7". You look at his hands and his feet; they're like webbed.
Yeah,
I mean, they're humongous, and his body is just the perfect shape for a swimmer, and that's why he dominated so much. And you look at Vasilevsky, 6'3", and unbelievable, and long limb, and his legs long, his arms long. But he's not. You know, if you're a 6'8" goalie, you're just not going to be quick enough. It's just not going to, you know, so I think 6'3" is probably about as much as you can push it to be as quick as he is on the ice. And then you add in his flexibility and his reaction time. The dude is a physical freak, and no one works harder at it than he does. That's why he's the best in the game. And we have him for a long, long time. All right. So yesterday I had a chance to speak with Stammer, and I asked him about a possibility, since they've already carved out a couple of weeks in February to play in the Olympics, if the NHL could put together some type of tournament similar.
Hey, Stammer, I hope you haven't answered this yet, but regarding the Olympics and not being able to go, I know how much that was on your mind. Some players have talked about putting together some type of tournament. I mean, most of the players are coming from the NHL. The schedule is open. Would you like to see the NHL try to make someone try to make some type of Olympic tournament or World Cup fit in that space especially for guys like you? And I know everybody wants to play.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we need to figure something out. The problem is the Olympics are the Olympics, and there's really nothing that can compare to that experience from obviously what I've been told and what I've watched as a kid growing up. And we had the World Cup a couple of years ago, and we had some of the younger teams in the team world and stuff like that, and it's great. It generates revenue. It generates some buzz around our league, but it just simply isn't the Olympic Games. So I think from a player's perspective, that's what, of course we want to play more best on best, tournaments, but that's the one that the players, really strive for and want to be part of, is just that whole Olympic experience. So, it's been extremely disappointing, obviously. This year, with what's going on in the world, it's a little more understandable. But, the last Olympics where we weren't able to go because of different issues with the NHL, now it just stings even more knowing that, for some of the older guys, this is probably their last chance. And, you look at the last 10, 12 years for some guys, those are their prime opportunities to go represent your country. And we've been, robbed on last time for sure because of the NHL. This time, it's a little different story, but it's certainly disappointing.
It's interesting. The IOC, especially with television ratings the way they are for the Winter Olympics, hockey is such a huge part of their viewership. Mm-hmm. And I know they wouldn't do this normally, but desperate times calls for desperate measures. You could set up an Olympic tournament here in America. The reason the players aren't going is because of the issue with the 3 to 5 week isolation that you have to do if you test positive over there. The NHL players can't do that. They can't, be sitting in China missing games. So that's why they're not going, correct? That's the main reason.
I guess that's the main reason, but I still feel like the players would go.
No, no.
You still don't think so?
Well, the NHL's not going to allow that. And
I know the NHL won't allow it.
I don't think the players would want it. I honestly don't think they can risk it. And it's so easy that they could set it up. They could actually have an Olympic tournament. Go to Salt Lake and doll it up like they had the Olympics there many years ago. And you can use those the rinks in that area. And you could have a wonderful Olympic tournament. You could call the Olympic tournament. They could televise it like an Olympic tournament. I don't think it would be really hard to do. I mean, everything is in place. The infrastructure is already in place. The teams are being picked, all that stuff. It seems like it would be very logistically not that hard to do.
And most importantly, the NHL would be able to make money off of it.
Hell yes.
To me, that's one of the
IOC would.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the main reasons.
That they're protecting it.
I think that's why one of the main reasons why the NHL backed out as well is they were almost, I feel like they're always looking for an excuse not to go to the Olympics.
Yeah, of course.
They're always looking for an excuse.
Well, listen, if you've got so much invested in these players as these teams do, millions and millions of dollars, and they're going over there playing their ass off. We've seen it, where you get major injuries at the Olympics and guys can't come back and play. That's a huge, as a business person, that's a huge risk. And when you're not getting any remuneration whatsoever, as far as I know, I don't think the NHL gets anything to play. I don't know what the players get paid. I don't know any of that, but it's not about money. But this could be about money. But it seems like something that shouldn't be that hard to do.
The problem is, as we said yesterday, these new protocol, they're going to be testing guys every single day now, regardless. You're going to see a crap ton of players hit this list, more so than we already have. Yep. They're already viewing that little window that they have as all the rescheduling. That's what's going to happen.
I know.
That's what's going to happen. They're not beholden to like entertaining the fans. They're not beholden to making all the players feel better. They're beholden to their bottom line and what makes them feel good. That's just the way it goes, unfortunately.
It's sad because we all want to see it. We all want hockey fans want to see it. The players want it.
And I don't know who ran the World Cup of hockey when they did that 5 years ago, but that was a blast to watch. It's always a blast to watch.
And you
could
call it the Olympic tournament. You could have all the accoutrement, except you wouldn't have an Olympic village that Stamkos was talking about, and get that real experience. It could be damn close. I think it would be pretty damn close. It's too many good things that could come out of it. They need to make it happen. I doubt it will, but they need to make it happen. All right, TJ Rives coming up. I want to remind you, if you are in the market for a refinance, or you're looking at buying a house right now, or selling your house, certainly, and then you got to buy something, right? Downsizing, whatever it is, Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services will hook you up. He's simply the best in the business. He's done over 3,000 loans here, and what makes Scott different is he really, really cares about his clients. He really, really cares about their overall financial situation. He will help you out in paying down some of your debt and getting that extra cash out of your house, get you the lowest rate, because he shops it around the dozens of companies. You're not dealing with just one bank. He doesn't have all the big upfront fees that the big banks have, and he will pay for your appraisal. If you so what's the risk? That's the biggest risk, right? $500-$700 for an appraisal is why you may not want to refinance, but if he's going to pay for it, it's a go. Right? So do it. It's easy. Just get him at scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa.com. Tell him you heard it on the JP show, and he will pay for your appraisal. And he's the best in the business. Scott Fitzgerald. All right, quick break. When we come back, Bucs sideline guy TJ Rives will join us. We'll talk some more Bucs and NFL and make fun of the Saints. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar. Get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
JP, Santa, and young St. Nick. That's right over here. My partner for the Gold and Diamond Source. You hear that? Christmas music. It's Christmas time. You just popped a question to your lady from the Gold and Diamond Source diamond that you got.
Yes, I did. The Gold and Diamond Source, the best place to go get your diamond for an engagement. They helped me out so much. They were so courteous to me for somebody who was so nervous. And it's Christmas time, like you said. If you're thinking about popping the question, you need to go to the Gold and Diamond Source.
It's the Jewelry Supercenter, fully stocked, fully staffed, and yes, just a short drive from downtown Tampa or wherever you're coming from, right there on Ulmerton Road. Avoid the madness at the malls. And whether you're a first-time buyer or looking for that 10-carat custom design, they have it all. 9 jewelers in-house ready to make your dreams come true. Even layaways, 100% interest-free financing up to 5 years. Shop now for your best selection at the Gold and Diamond Source and make your lady wonderfully happy like Nick. That's absolutely. Shop anytime online at thegoldanddiamond.com.
JP here for Italiano Insurance. You know, we're all just trying to make ends meet financially. And it's not just what you make, but it's what you keep. Think about how much money you spend on insurance every year. Well, Italiano Insurance can save you literally thousands of dollars. Here's how it works. Give them a call at 813-877-7799. Tell them what you're spending on all your insurance, your homeowner's insurance, your auto insurance, life insurance, all your insurance needs, and they will shop dozens and dozens of companies to get you the best deal. I was at a Rays game one time, and a couple told me, hey, I called Italiano. They saved me $1,400 on my insurance, my home insurance, $1,600 on my auto insurance. A business customer saved $26,000 on their business insurance. Large and small, they do it all, folks. 813-877-7799. An actual human will answer the phone, give you great customer service. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All righty, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. We'll be talking with Chris tomorrow, hopefully, about the new stadium in Ybor, which is happening, folks. It is happening, as we told you a couple months ago. All right, the great TJ Rives, Bucs sideline guy, joining us now as he does every Tuesday. What's up, my friend? How are you? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to the Rives family.
All the above, same to the Peterson, same to the FanStream audience, and what a difference a week makes. We're feeling a lot better about a lot of things.
Yes,
Still
sir.
injured. Can you play receiver? Can you play pass rushing linebacker, defensive end?
Yes.
You may be needed. Help wanted in the window, brother.
I got natural immunity and eligibility left. I'm ready to, there we go. Let's do it. Hey,
sometimes your best ability is your availability. I like that.
Yeah, you know, we haven't talked a lot about Shaq Barrett going down now. Sprained MCL, ACL, mild sprain, a friendly fire as well. Got to have that guy for the playoffs. Any sense on how serious this injury is?
I got to tell you, from field level, when I saw it, I'm immediate. Your first immediate thought is not good. Not good when he goes down. Then you see the replay, and I have not seen the television replay. I had one in-stadium replay where it looked like he landed awkwardly with somebody else around him, stepped on somebody's foot, or somebody stepped on him while he landed. So then you're wondering, is it his ankle? Then they're checking his knee, and you're holding your breath, and he gets up and walks off. And as we saw with the Godwin injury the week before, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not a serious injury, because Chris would try to play with bones sticking out and his eyeballs bouncing on springs and everything else. Chris would try to play.
Yes.
So in Shaq's case, then I asked Bruce Arians at halftime on Buccaneers radio, is he available to play if you need him? He said he's going to try to play. And sure enough, he was out there for 2 or 3 plays to start the third quarter. And that's scary in and of itself. For injuring it worse, they just shut it down and finally said, let's think better of this. Let him rest it. Let him rehab it here for a week or two. And so now you got to make do. You got to try to make do.
Yeah, and we're seeing guys step up. I think the week before against the Saints, that wasn't the case. But given a week to get their focus together, you saw Keyshawn Vaughn, you saw Cyril Grayson. Jerome Whitehead had the game of his life. And I tell you what, TJ, that defense, there was an energy, there was a ferociousness of the pass rush that I have not seen since the end of last year. And to me, that was the biggest takeaway from the game for me. How about you?
I think you're right. It has come on. 7 sacks are obviously the indicator of that. And I think the biggest component, and you and I have much love for Rondé Barber, and he talked about this all the time, that as much as you want to talk about what Sapp and Simeon Rice and Booger McFarland and just name the guys off that defensive line back in the day, whether it was Brad Culpepper, Greg Spires, whoever you had on that defensive line, they excelled and succeeded because you could cover on the back end.
Right.
And Todd Bowles now has healthy Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Jamel Dean back together, and they've kind of held together. Dean has been out a little bit here in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but he was there for the full game last week. You're running different coverage with those guys, calling some different dial-ups on blitzes, etc., because those guys are all healthy. I think that makes a big difference. But now the ironic part is JPP is hurt, Shaq Barrett is hurt, and the pass rushing may not be as good on the end now that you got the back end kind of solidified with coverage. But welcome to the NFL and injuries, and let's see if they can get healthier.
Well, I love what I saw from Tryon. He really starting to play at a really high level. Even Gill comes in and gives you something. He's really quick off the edge. I love what he gives you. But we're seeing these young kids step up, and we're gonna need that down the stretch, especially if a lot of these guys can't come back. But I just get the sense that I think Evans will be back. Boy, it would be just amazing if they could get that first round bye. That's going to be tough, but to have that week off to rest would just be so key for them. But I do think that they can get Evans back. But Fournette and Shaq, we just don't know. I mean, there's just too much question marks. So Health was great for this team last year, but it's biting them in the ass right now.
And just an assortment of them. I don't know that there's another team. I'm not making excuses here, but I don't know there's another team that has lost this many prominent guys in 2 games late in the year.
Right.
Where, you go into this game this week in New York. Theoretically, can Jason Pierre-Paul play? We don't know. The rotator cuff in the shoulder is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Is he able to play? Probably not. Don't know. They'll make that decision. Shaq Barrett definitely not playing. Lavonte David definitely not playing. Antoine Winfield with the calf injury, maybe not. So you're down 4 of your guys that you're counting on right there. Now let's go over to the offensive side and more bad news. No Godwin, no Evans because he's on the COVID-19 list anyway. No Leonard Fournette. So you're 3 more guys right there. That's 7 players out of your 22 that you're counting on late in the year. Get a couple of those guys back if you can, and that would be the hope. Let's hope that they can.
Yeah, no doubt. TJ, how do you think that this offense evolves without Godwin? I mean, he was such a crucial part of what they do. So much was predicated off his versatility and quite frankly, Fournette's versatility as well. They could run, they could pass out of any of those formations. And now, when you got to use guys like Rojo, you're tipping your hand. You're probably going to run. You don't have the interior blocking that Godwin gave you in the run game. So there's a lot of adjustments that have to be made. I think they did it really well last week against, what some people don't realize is the Panthers defense is ranked 2nd in the league. So I thought they handled it pretty well. How do you see this offense evolving?
And you make a great point about Godwin run blocking.
Yeah.
That is something you're going to miss where no matter who it is that's coming down the line of scrimmage, and they were trying to use Tyler Johnson that role, even put Cyril Gleason in that role to come down the line of scrimmage and try to just get in front of somebody.
Yeah.
It's not the same as Chris Godwin. So they're going to have to try to mix some of that up. Antonio Brown obviously was somebody that Tom Brady is much more comfortable with and was keen on, especially on 3rd down. And I thought Dave Moore was pointing this out during the game that they ran him vertical a couple of times early, and it got Carolina thinking with Gilmore or whoever else was on him, okay, he's looking to go deep. Wait a minute, he breaks it off and does the 10-yard out or does the comeback. He's got the ability to do that now, and that will hopefully open up things for Tyler Johnson, Rashad Perriman, and Perriman can streak deep too, but he's not as fast as Antonio Brown, obviously.
Yeah,
that will hopefully open some things up to have Antonio Brown in there. And I know there's so much being said, not just in our market, nationally, et cetera, about Antonio Brown being back. But at this point, it's a football decision for the Buccaneers. They are just banged up, maybe even doesn't describe it right now. They are depleted at wide receiver at the moment and need him to go out and be as effective as he can be to help open up the things they want to do to other guys and get them single coverage or get them open. So they're going to utilize him as best they can, go find a way to gut this out and win in New York this week, and then we'll figure out what's on the line in week 17, the week 18, the 17th game. We'll figure out what's on the line after this weekend on how much these guys are going to play or how much you're trying to rest them, depending on – and more than likely the playoff seeding is not going to be decided until late in the day on the final Sunday on the 9th. So you may be playing everybody in the final game trying to figure out, are you the 2 seed? Are you the 3? Are you the 4? You want to be the 2 seed because then you're guaranteed 2 home games if you win the first one.
Right.
So if you've got a chance to vie for that and battle for that, you're not resting guys, obviously, in the final game. Banged up or not.
And for those who don't know, in a 3-way tie in the division, it's going to be the Cowboys will have the number 1 seed in a 3-way tie with the Bucs and the Rams because of their conference record if they continue to win. And the Bucs, I think, are 7-4. The Cowboys are 9-1, so they can't catch them in that way. But if it's a 2-way tie, then obviously the head-to-head, the Bucs will win.
Correct.
So you're almost hoping that the Rams lose and the Packers lose. There's still a lot to be decided, and
right.
So and I think playoff seeding is going to be absolutely critical, just because of what you just said. And all the Bucs can do is win out, and boy, if they don't. That's on them. I mean, at the Jets, Carolina at home, they got to win these 2 games.
Period. I agree. The end. Yeah. And you have to go take care of business in New York for any of these scenarios to unfold, because other than that, a loss in either of these 2 games is going to put you at the 4 seed.
Yeah.
And so unless the Cowboys also lose and you're only in the head-to-head tiebreaker like you mentioned with Dallas where you beat them head-to-head. And that's not beyond the realm, by the way, because Dallas has Arizona, who must win this week at home. Arizona's still trying to get the division win in a home game. So Arizona's got everything to play for, even though they're right now in disarray and have lost 3 games in a row. Yeah. And then the Cowboys finish at Philadelphia, who's very much alive for the wild card.
Yes.
And so there is a distinct possibility Dallas loses one out of those remaining 2. I don't know that you can count on them losing them both. So let's just isn't this fun to talk about? I keep coming on late in the year and saying this to you. Isn't this better? Talking about where are you drafting and what do you need next year in the draft. So this is a good thing right now to vie for this. And that Rams situation, playing at a desperate Baltimore team, and it does look like Lamar Jackson's going to practice this week and likely give it a shot as the quarterback.
Yep.
And the Ravens have to win playoff seedings. Maybe the Ravens and the Cardinals do the Buccaneers a favor and open the door for the Bucs to at least be the number 2 seed if they win out. We can hope for that. Let's see. A lot of football to go.
So much fun in all those areas. And the Saints did us a favor last night. We don't want to see them in the playoffs. I mean, especially after, that debacle of what they did to, and you can't tell me differently. I think they were trying to hurt the Buccaneers, and they did it.
Right.
You saw PJ Williams last night take a headshot at Tua. That guy, it wasn't even called. That guy is out of control. But it was nice to see the Saints kind of suck on it last night, especially Sean Payton. Sean Payton was wearing a bra last night, evidently, according to Twitter.
I'm not sure what that. I've seen the internet.
What the hell was that going on?
I'm not sure if the shirt was a size too small. I don't know what that was. I've seen. Hey, I don't think I'm revealing a nuclear secret here on the JP Fan Stream Show. Do you think the NFL views the New Orleans Saints slightly differently, especially after the Bountygate situation, which they investigated before, which got Sean Payton suspended for a year in the first place?
Yep.
And then you had the whole thing with the controversial call in the NFC Championship game, the no call, where the Saints behaved and their fan base like 4-year-olds.
Yep.
After it was all over. You're not going to get any more calls anytime soon from the NFL, and you're not going to get any sympathy from the NFL. And by the way, because there's a bunch of belly aching that the game should have been moved to like a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night to let some of the players maybe come off the COVID list and be able to play in the game. And Sean Payton was bemoaning this, I guess, before the game and after the game, etc. Well, this is the same Saints team that benefited from this a year ago when the Denver Broncos had no quarterbacks. Remember, all their quarterbacks had been placed on the COVID contact list because it was found that they were sitting in the meeting room without masks. Remember that?
Right. Yeah.
The Broncos had to suit up a guy that had not played quarterback since his freshman year at Wake Forest and had only played like 2 games. Ridiculous. He was basically a high school option quarterback. They had to suit him up because the COVID-19 rules were different on who you could have on your practice squad. They didn't have any quarterbacks. They couldn't sign anybody. They couldn't get anybody ready. The Broncos had one day to figure out who is going to be our wildcat quarterback and try to run our offense. And the Saints got to benefit from that because the attitude was, if you screwed this up yourselves, then you're in that position. And so what a surprise now. I understand that other teams had bad COVID-19 problems last weekend, 2 weekends ago, and they pushed the games back. But what a surprise that the NFL would look at the Saints differently, right? What a shock with how they've behaved in the past and say, no, you're going to play with who you have. Suit them up, whoever you've got. Go find them, and they were awful last night. And
horrible.
As I joked with more than one person last night and today, you really feel bad, don't you? Unless, of course, you don't, that they're going to watch the playoffs on TV.
No, I don't. Not at all. They take such glee in taking out Chris Godwin with dirty hit. All right, my friend. I got to ask you, where'd you get those PJs for the Rives photo? The matching PJs. That was.
I just put it on social media.
That was awesome.
Pajamas,
it was Griswold-esque.
Courtesy of my wife, my sister, my mother picking out the flannel checkered pajamas, and I think I saw a lot of other Christmas photos that people had those.
Yeah.
But yes, we decided to do a big family photo in front of the tree. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. I know you've shared it out as well.
Yes.
So we got the big family photo with the twins. And
you are all good.
Everybody wanted to know where my flannel was the pajamas, and I'm in the background of the picture, the pants.
Yeah.
So I was in step with the dress code and with the uniform for that photo. I just want to confirm that on the JP
Extremely
show.
impressive.
I did have on the red and black checked flannel pajamas. You just couldn't see my legs as well on that. And I do have to put the shout out because there's numerous people now looking for me either on the TV broadcast, and I know it was on the front page of the Tampa Bay Times sports section on the Cyril Grayson catch where I'm Where's Waldo in the back. I stay in the back, khaki pants and use the red shirt on. So You can spot me here and there.
Everywhere.
I do pop up here and there on social media.
You're everywhere.
Thank you for checking on.
You are everywhere. All right, my friend. Always good to chat with you. We'll hook up with you next week when you get back from New York. It's going to be.
Yes.
What's the weather like?
New York, enormous day. And the early forecast, I don't know what I've seen today, is 30s and chance of precipitation, which may be snow.
Oh.
Stay tuned. There could be, not for sure, but that could be in the forecast. Again, these weather forecasters don't get it right 2 or 3 days out, like 5 or 6 days out. But let's see what happens.
All right, bring your snow. All right, partner, good chat with you. Joe Reeves, follow him on Twitter. Get that Buck podcast. It's awesome. Nothing but Bucks. Perfect. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
All right, boys. Be well. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, as always, because TJ comes on the show. All right, quick break. When we come back, Leo Haggerty's going to join us. We'll get his take on Bucks, Bolts, USF. He covers everything. We'll chat with him next. Stay with us.
Attention home buyers or refinance candidates. It is a great time to purchase or refinance. Home values are going through the roof right now. You've got so much equity, time to tap into that equity, get the cash, and make sure you're making the right financial decisions in your life. Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services in Tampa can help you out on all those fronts. I've known Fitz for over 30 years. He's done 3 of my mortgages. In fact, Scott has done over 3,000 loans in the Tampa Bay area for many of our coaches, athletes, from Bucks to Bulls. And he can save you big money. AMS is a wholesale broker. They will shop your loan to dozens of banks and let them compete for your business. Quick story, one listener had a done deal with a big national mortgage company, was promising a 2.75 interest rate. Well, when it came time to lock in, it was 3.25. Emailed Scott, got him the actual 2.75, saved him over $3,000 in first-year payments and $2,200 in lender's fees. Email him, Scott at amstampa.com, Scott at amstampa.com.
Who wants free mobile service? I do. And you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get ring out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. Find him at PalermoPA.com. All right, let's bring in our good friend Leo Haggerty from It Sports Magazine, editor-in-chief, covers the Bolts, the Bucs, USF, all things Tampa Bay. What's up, my friend? How are you? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that stuff.
Yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you, JP. I hope I'm seeing you tonight at a hockey game. I got my fingers crossed. I'm sitting here. This is a cheap plug, but I'm next in line to get gas at Sam's, and believe me, it's a waiting line. But, hey, best price in town.
Yeah. What's the price at Sam's now?
$3.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
No.
Imagine if we had a pipeline. It'd be like back in the old days. Yeah. 150, 195. Yeah. Back in the good old days.
Yeah, well, thank God we're not out west where it's $4.50, $5.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, we got breaking news with the Bolts. Maxine Legacy is going to be starting in goal tonight, and Braden Point will make his return tonight. So against a COVID-crushed team from Montreal, the Lightning should have their way tonight. What do you think?
Well, again, it all goes down to who's in net. I thought it was an interesting conversation with the assistant coach yesterday. He said, we're going to play a little different. We're going to play a little tougher in front of our goalie.
Talk into the phone there. That's better. Much better.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. He said, we're going to play a little bit different into the play a little tougher in front of them, so to speak. So that'll be good. Again, they should win. Absolutely.
Yeah. And this just in, I'm retweeting it as we speak because we talked about it this morning. Lightning, this is from Joe Smith of The Athletic. Player rep Alex Killorn said he isn't sure if CDC recommendations for 5-day quarantine will be implemented in the NHL, but believes it should. Quote, it seems like Canada is a reason a lot of things don't happen. So don't know if we'll be able to do that, but it seems reasonable. And I've said this, Leo, the NHL being beholden to these Canadian nut jobs on COVID is going to kill this season. I mean, they can't do it. Bettman has got to have a spine, follow the CDC guidelines at the very least, cut this quarantine down to 5 days, and stop testing healthy people. Let's go. Let's move on.
Yeah, exactly. It's the flu. I'm sorry. Let's call it what it is. It's
less than the flu right now.
It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And Canada's the one killing it.
Yeah. Well, again, if Bettman stays beholden to them, I don't know. Maybe he can let them play for a cup up there, and we just play for another cup down here because it's crazy what's going. You even heard Stamkos say it yesterday. All the players are talking about it. They're all vaccinated. Most of the Lightning players are boosted. I mean, they're not getting sick. They're in no danger. The staff's in no danger. There's no public health risk here. It's all COVID.
No, it's crazy. It is crazy. And JP, there's only one thing crazier. What they're doing in China with the Olympics, 21 days.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, come on.
That's why the NHL can't go.
Yeah, no, and it's longer than the Olympic Games itself. Yeah. I mean, what do they think? But again, it's China, so they're going to do what they want to do.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. And nobody's going to criticize them.
It's ruining an Olympics for a lot of guys.
Yeah, no, it sucks. And I asked Stammer this yesterday about why don't they just hold the Olympic tournament here in the United States? They can televise it as part of the Olympics. They could set up an Olympic village. They could do everything. Teams are already picked for the most part. All the infrastructure is in place. They got the schedule hold to do it. Why not do it?
And JP, can I give you credit for probably the best question asked in about a month? That was a classic. I mean, you can't have the Olympics in China. Well, have the Olympics somewhere else where you can have them. What a great question. And you know what? You got a great answer from me. He goes, it's not the Olympics, but you know what? It's not a bad thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope that they will be aggressive and do that because I think it would be – I think for hockey fans. Hockey fans want to see this. We've been waiting for this for 4 years. Let's go.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy. No, absolutely.
JP, how about last night? Was that unwatchable football?
It's awful. It's awful. Again, here's Taysom Hill and Simeon, sitting around, isolated, healthy as a horse, vaccinated, boosted. And they have to sit there and watch that crap. And, I don't want to feel sorry for the Saints because of what they did to the Bucs last week and completely unethical, in my opinion. the way they played that game. They were going to take people out, and that's what they did. But I mean, for all their season to come down to that, and you're it's just, I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's totally ridiculous. It's just, again, I can remember last year we went to Denver and they had to play with a daggone backup wide receiver. Yeah. And again, they're going to have to, NFL's going to have to make a decision because everybody's going to test positive eventually.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen. And, how to deal with it. If somebody gets the common cold, you don't quarantine them.
No.
So is it time?
Yes.
That's the decision that has to be made.
Yes, it's time. It's time for someone with a backbone and with some courage to step up. And I feel sorry for the college players as well that are getting screwed out of these bowl games, and because they're using these antiquated protocols that are just they're not stepping up with the times. And here are these players that don't get paid, most of them, who go to a bowl game. This is their big payoff for the year, and now they can't go, and they're having to pull out of these bowl games because the adults aren't brave enough to say, you know what, we're going to play anyway. We'll figure it out. We're going to play anyway. Let's just go play. Nobody's getting sick. Let's do this.
Yeah, and you know what, JP, I love the NCAA when they came out and said, you know what, if somebody has a COVID problem, they're going to forfeit the game and they're going to move on. I guarantee you they didn't talk to TV about that because those TV people saying, we're going to have a game.
Yeah.
And believe me, if Alabama tests positive, they'll wait till Easter to play that game.
Yeah.
Believe me, it's going to get played.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so the question that everybody Buck fan wants to know now is how do they move forward with all these injuries, and can they roll into the playoffs with some momentum? I love the way they played defensively last week, and that energy and that pass rush were ferocious. But now, no Shaq Barrett.
You know what, JP? Now comes the second question. If you go up to play the Jets and win, and you are secured in your spot, win or lose against Carolina, do you rest the players? Again, I think that Bruce Arians' decision,
100%,
and it's going to really be a problem because, like you said, you want to go into the playoffs with momentum. You want to go into the playoffs healthy.
Yeah.
Do you sit Brady? Do you sit people for that one game? Because, now this team has played 9 games in a row. And if they can play that last game as a bye week, basically, for the guys, I think they go down that road. Again, if that's where you're stuck. Because
right.
I don't think they can catch Green Bay right now. Because it's just not going to happen. So I think what you need to do is go up to New York, win the game, and then rest your people. Get them ready for the following week.
Well, I think with all the machinations, though, Leo, I don't think that's I think that game is going to count. There's too many with all the tiebreakers and everything that's going on in the NFC. It's an NFC game, so your conference record is going to count. You may be tied with the Rams. You may be tied with the Cowboys. Those games are going to happen, I think, after the Bucs play. So I just don't think it's going to be an option for them. And I think it's good because they need to find out how to play without Godwin. They need to find out how to play without some of these guys as they roll into the playoffs. And I agree with Arians when he said yesterday, resting guys sometimes you lose that edge. I mean, if it's secure, I get it. We have a bunch of guys that are nicked up. I wouldn't play them. You can beat Carolina without them. But if it's not secure, I see you just go out there and play. You got to go out there and play and try to get some momentum.
Absolutely. Yeah, like Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. And people are expecting you to go out and give a maximum effort. That's what they pay good money to go see. They don't pay money to go see you rest people. But again, if they are already the second, third, or fourth, no matter what happens, and a lot of things have to happen for that, then you got to make a decision because, God forbid, somebody else gets hurt in that 17th game. Now, you're facing a media that are going, why didn't you rest them? And again, it's you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, depending upon how it goes. But my concern has always been it was an early bye week. The team has a lot of players that are getting up there in age. And right now, I'll tell you, The two guys I don't want to see get hurt are Sue and Villa, because they are determining a lot of what's happening.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we lose one of those guys, we're done. We're done.
Oh,
Godwin was bad enough, but one of those guys, I just don't see us being able to get through that. But hey, you got Brady, you always got a chance, my friend.
Yeah, you always got a puncher's chance no matter what. And again, I just JP, the 2 years that the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl, guess who they lost to both games during the season?
The Saints. That's
Guess
right.
What's happening this year?
Yep.
Same thing.
No.
I just hope somebody can knock off Green Bay, because I don't want to go there.
Hey, they're vulnerable. You can run the football against them, and I think that's going to be their Achilles heel. And the Bucs can run the football against them too. So we'll see how it all shakes out, my friend. I love it. It's a great time of year when you're in the hunt.
Yeah, well, I got to go get my booster shot now.
Okay.
Don't get me started on that one. I'll tell you what, though, there's one thing. If you test and you have enough antibodies, you don't have to get it. So I'm going to get that antibody test first, because I'm tired of people sticking stuff in my arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that external stuff. All right, partner, good stuff. Thanks for your time as always. It's Sports Magazine. How can everybody get your content?
Yeah, go to itsportsmag.com, and I just put up my random thoughts on different memos to different people, like professional athletes. Like, how about giving an effort and not telling me what your politics are? That's an interesting concept. What do you think?
Just get politics out of sports, please, and COVID. Get them both out of sports, so we'll all be happier for it.
Absolutely. So yeah, go there. You'll get a good laugh, and I got my Leo's Losers coming up, and I'm still playing with house money, so that's good.
Beautiful. All right, my friend, good stuff. We'll chat with you next week. Have a great New Year's.
Yeah, right. Happy New Year.
All right, buddy. All right, our final break will be a quick one, and when we come back, couple more from Bruce Arians that we will play for you, and a couple of their surprises before we go. Stay with us.
Attention home buyers or refinance candidates. It is a great time to purchase or refinance. Home values are going through the roof right now. You've got so much equity, time to tap into that equity, get the cash, and make sure you're making the right financial decisions in your life. Scott Fitzgerald and American Mortgage Services in Tampa can help you out on all those fronts. I've known Fitz for over 30 years. He's done 3 of my mortgages. In fact, Scott has done over 3,000 loans in the Tampa Bay area for many of our coaches, athletes, from Bucks to Bulls. And he can save you big money. AMS is a wholesale broker. They will shop your loan to dozens of banks and let them compete for your business. Quick story, one listener had a done deal with a big national mortgage company, was promising a 2.75 interest rate. Well, when it came time to lock in, it was 3.25. Emailed Scott, got him the actual 2.75, saved him over $3,000 in first-year payments and $2,200 in lender's fees. Email him, Scott@AMSTampa.com, Scott@AMSTampa.com.
Who wants free mobile service? I do, and you can get 30 gigs a month from companies like AT&T Service, T-Mobile. Great service. Keep your number and get free mobile service. It's part of the emergency broadband benefit from the stimulus bill. 87% of America qualifies. So if you think you make too much money or whatever, just go to jpcares.info and find out. It'll take you a few minutes. jpcares.info to find out if you qualify for free cell service. Get it now before it's all used up.
The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. JP Peterson Show presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. 813-221-5636. Also, the Diamond Source after Christmas sale is going on right now. So if you got one of those gift cards, get on over there and get the best selection, the best sales. Always going on. Keep that local, folks. The great folks at Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub over there, always giving back to the community. So if you got a choice to shop at one of the national companies or local, let's keep it local. The Golden Diamond Source, right over the bridge. If you're coming from Tampa, get those gift cards over there and spend your money. Good time to shop. All right, couple of little notes in case you missed it. Tonight, Maxime Legacy will be in goal for the Lightning, and Pointer making his return as well. So the game is still on as of tonight. 9 starters for the Canadiens will be out. So good chance to see some of the young players. Darren Radish, I think, will make his debut on blue line for the Bolts as well. Just retweeted the latest video from Big Bad Brad Johnson. The 3 doinks with the football. You watched it. The dude's unbelievable. From 20 yards out, left upright, right upright, center post. Ding, ding, ding.
Don't remember the nice little
no.
What was it he did?
Yeah, the Tiger Woods
ching ching. Tiger Woods ching ching.
Unbelievable. You got go check that out. Here's something interesting from Joe Bucks fan. Last night, Scotty Miller was on the All Access show, and he kind of pulled the curtain back a little bit on Brady, saying this time of year, there's 3 to 4 extra meetings per week. Miller said it's a little more comfortable this year because we know what it takes. No detail is left unchecked. Everything is scrutinized, and 3 to 4 extra meetings per week with Brady. It's just it's insane how good he is at leadership. And this just it's not just because he was with Belichick and all these other things. It's just this dude he's just special. He's just special. There is no replacement for hard work and details. The Barstool story is interesting. The Arizona Bowl that they were funding has crumbled because Miami pulled out of the Sun Bowl. Western Michigan is now going to take their place.
Central Michigan,
yeah.
So no Barstool Sports Bowl anymore, and it came down to money. I think the payout for Barstool is like $300,000 to both teams. If they go to the Sun Bowl, $4.5 million.
Yeah,
it's not even a debate.
But so many people on Twitter just ripping them and so happy that kids can't play in a bowl game.
Yeah, a lot of people were very happy to see Barstool lose money, and some even reporters, might I add, wishing that teams didn't have enough players to play in the game. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Speaking of reporters, if you haven't read the John Romano column today, another completely out of touch version of Called Antonio Brown is not a changed man. He's just a talented diva, because they were not happy with the answers that he gave in his press conference the other day. We'd much rather just completely jeopardize the team's chances in this. It's so out of touch with the reality of what football is all about, and the team game, and trying to win with such a key piece that you really, really need to have. And it's all about, the transgression of the COVID card, that some just see it as, something that deserves a death penalty. And some others like, okay, paid your penalty, let's move on.
Who needs Antonio Brown? Just go find out what Dante Dye and Freddie Martino are doing.
Yeah, just keep your integrity.
Let's keep the integrity.
Keep your integrity. All right. Thanks to TJ Reeves. Our thanks to Scott Reynolds, Leo Haggerty, our guest today, and Bobby the Chief Taylor. As always, best guest each and every day. 2 hours, Tampa Bay sports centric right here. Thanks for joining us. Go Bolts. See you tonight.